Good morning, James. Here's your machine, the Breville Barista Express BES870. As you saw in the photos, it's in pretty good condition. And actually, just last night, I finished refurbishing it. This one pretty much needed nothing. It's in good condition inside. It was spotless, no issues at all. So I did a full cleaning cycle, descale cycle, testing the flow meter, testing like a pressure test, leak test, etc. And even realigned the grinder. Everything seems to be fine. We are going to make a latte this morning, so I'll take you through that. When you first turn on the machine, usually it takes about a minute to reach temperature. You'll see the buttons light up when it's ready. It's warm. It's ready to make coffee, but it's not fully warmed up. So I would recommend warming it up either by waiting, so you can leave it on for 20 minutes, or you can actively warm it up. So in my case, I like to run a blank shot. That means just getting my cup, getting my handle locked in. So your handle is empty, lock it in, put the cup and press a double shot of water. This will warm up the handle, the brew pad and the cup. It'll also clean any dirt. As you see, there's always a bit of coffee oils or coffee grounds stuck, so this will clean it up as well. You can do that once, do that twice, it's up to you. In the meantime, I'm going to pull my cup up there. Grab a tissue to dry the portafilter. Now your machine comes with 4 baskets, so this is the double basket, single wall. This will be the best one to use for the taste and the crema. For the taste and the authenticity of the crema. It takes 18 grams of coffee, and you need to have the settings right to get a good shot. You have the other ones, like the dual wall baskets. Those ones will be easier to use. They don't need the settings to be exact, but they won't taste as good in my opinion, and they fake the crema, sort of. Anyway, I will use my scale to measure 18 grams going into this basket. So I'm going to turn it on. There you go. And I'm going to aim for 18 grams in here. I like to do it in 2 steps rather than in one go, just to prevent any mess. I'll put the grind size on number 4. I'll put the grind amount at the 12 o'clock position, and then I'll grind. Great. Take that out and measure. That was 8.7 grams, perfect. I'm going to leave it there, because if I increase it 1 click in here, it'll probably go over 18. $17.2, just a little bit more. $18 grams exactly. So this is 18 grams. Before I press it with the tamper, I'm gonna lightly, sort of bunch it up and round it up with my fingers. I'm not sure if you noticed, but after grinding the first dose, I lightly pressed it as well, just to make room for the second dose. So yeah, I'm gonna lightly sort of spread the coffee with my hand, so that when I press, it's like an even surface. You can put this on the bench and press if it's more consistent that way for you. But for me, I'm used to pressing mid-air. Make sure it's nice and even pressure all around. And you'll notice that the depth of the tamper goes exactly this deep. So the silver part is like a guide for you. So once you have the correct amount of coffee in there, the silver part should disappear. This is what it looks like, about 0.5 centimeter from the edge. Don't let it overflow, so if you can't make the silver part disappear, then that's too much coffee. And when you come to lock in the handle in the machine, it will be stiff and it will like over pressurize the coffee. Not good for the coffee, not good for the machine. A bit underdose is okay. Put it in the middle position. Now we're ready to make the espresso. We want to double our input, so we want about 36 grams. So we put in 18, we want about 36 out. That's the standard recipe for espresso. You can do longer or shorter ones, so a ristretto would be 1.5 or 1:1 actually. And there's like a lungo and other stuff you can experiment with. I'm just going to start with 2:1. You also have a hot water spout. You can use this for various things like turning your espresso shot into a long black coffee. Brewing tea bags, etc. Warming up your cups. If you like to add sugar or sweetener to your coffee or any syrups, do it now before the espresso, so that when the espresso comes down, it's mixed in nicely. Cool. Again, I'm going to reset my scale and then measure the output. Now, with the output, there's two variables, the amount and the time. I prefer keeping the amount fixed, and this machine will dose by the amount. More or less, it'll give you approximately what you ask for. It's not going to be to the milligram, of course, and it will also vary. So you can set up the buttons to whatever setting you want. It will try to give you the same amount every time. But if your grind is changed from one coffee to another, the amount probably will change as well. So if there's too much pressure and the coffee is struggling to come out, you'll get slightly less. If it's really easy for the machine to brew and there's low pressure, then the coffee will probably be more than you asked for. But I'll reset it now. Oh, sorry, it's reset to factory. I will recalibrate it or change the setting to what I think is the correct amount. So we don't know if this grind size is correct, grind size 4. But the only way to know is to make a coffee. And if we have the settings right, we'll be getting 36 grams in about 30 seconds. Give or take a few seconds, give or take a few grams, that's okay. It's not an exact science, it doesn't have to be perfect. But basically, I want to get 36 in 30 seconds. 36 grams in 30 seconds. If the 36 grams takes only 10 seconds, then that's way too quick, and I need to grind finer or get fresher beans, because old or cheap beans will run quickly by nature. If the 36 grams takes 40, 50 seconds, then that's too long, and I'll need to grind coarser. Again, if the flow is too quick, go finer. If the flow is too slow, go coarser. But I think we're approximately in the ballpark, just by feeling the grounds with my hands. It looks like my scale turned off because I spoke so much. Cool. To reset a button or to reprogram it, you press program, then the button itself. I'm also going to time it. Keep an eye on the gauge. Usually it should be in the grey zone, so about 10 to 1 o'clock. Yeah, that was 20 seconds. That's too quick. Right. Yeah, I'll redo that shot. So that was too quick. It's a good example of what not to do. The grind size was too large. So I'm gonna go 2 numbers finer and try again. I'll turn off the video and then I'll start a new one. Okay. That looks better. Looks like I forgot to do the calibration. So now I did the calibration. There's like an internal mechanism on the grinder burrs, the blades itself, to make the grind size larger or coarser. And I made it 2 steps finer, so now it's pretty good. We're still at the grind size number 4, so we're not going to change the outside dial settings. We just changed the internal to a bit finer. So now we'll do everything exactly the same. I'll breeze through it because we've been through the steps before. So portafilter, dry, reset. "12 o'clock position, grind size number 4. It's my first dose. Take it out and measure. 7.5. We'll go a bit larger. Okay, this is 9 grams. Once you do the first dose, press, then another. $17.7. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that. 17.7. So this will give you about 8.7 grams. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Take the tamper, nice and firm. Lock it in. Hot water. Alright, reprogramming again. That looks more promising. Nice smooth flow. 1 o'clock pressure. That looks like almost like warm honey, like syrup. Compared to before, if you remember, it was very fast. Like gushing out of the spouts fast, rather than this smooth, controlled flow. I'll let it go for 35 seconds. Looks like we went to the other end of the spectrum. So from before, we had a very fast flow. We adjusted the grind size. Now we are getting much better flow. Almost too slow, but pretty good, 35 seconds, we got 38 grams. So if we stopped it at 30 seconds, we would have gotten, I don't know, 34, 33 grams, which is pretty good. The only thing I'll do is now I'll go from grind size number 4 to grind size number 5, because maybe grind size number 4 is too fine for these beans. I'm not going to do another coffee just because A, it's a waste of coffee and time, and B, whatever beans you'll be getting, you'll probably be getting different results. So if you get the same brand, it'll be fresh beans. If you get a different brand, it'll be totally different settings. So don't get overwhelmed. Use the machine as is. But yeah, know that every bean is different and every type of bean is different as well. This is a good shot, 38 grams, looks really good. Nice smooth flow. Tastes really good as well. Wow, pretty strong. Right, without further ado, just gonna start steaming the milk. Quickly clean the portafilter, so take it out, knock it off, give it a quick rinse. grab the brush and grab a brush and like clean the grip head as well, or like use a tissue, anything like that. Steam, turn on the steam. It'll take 15 seconds for the output to start. I'm gonna fill my jug with cold full cream milk about halfway. That's full pressure. Once you start hearing the pump pulsating, it's pretty much ready to go. You have 5 seconds from turning off the steam until you turn it back on. Otherwise, it'll go back to coffee mode. Okay, I'm going to turn it off, position the jug at an angle, keep the wand close to the surface for the first 10 seconds, and then keep it spinning. You want to hear this hissing noise in the first 10 seconds. This noise means you're aerating and making the milk creamy and bubbly. You don't want to stay there for too long, so after that 10 or 15 second mark, raise the jug so that you stop aerating the milk. If you aerate it for too long, you won't get a latte, you'll get a cappuccino, or even more than that, more froth than that. Flat white is less froth than a latte, and cappuccino is more froth than a latte. Keep it spinning even after you dunk the wand into the milk deep. Keep it spinning so that it keeps mixing it up and warming it up evenly. When it's too hot to the touch, that's when I would turn it off. This is about 60 degrees Celsius. And very important, after it's done, give it a purge to clean the insides from any milk. That's very good milk. And now it's going to that cool down mode. When you see the bottoms light up, you're pretty much ready to make another coffee. Also, don't forget to wipe the wand. Obviously, it gets really hot. It's a metal wand that is in contact with really hot steam at 130 degrees. So it will stick. The milk will stick on it, basically. If you don't wipe it off straight away, it'll be harder to remove later on. And it'll harden and become like a shell, like a milk shell, which is disgusting as well. So keep your machine healthy and happy and clean after steaming the milk. Wipe it off. Okay, here's my milk. After frothing, you want to knock it on the counter to break any big air bubbles. Swirl it around to mix it up. Great, looks really good. If you do some practice, you will be able to achieve some latte art. If you're a trained barista or if you have a lot of time on your hands, I don't see why you can't do latte art. For me, I try to do latte art, but sometimes I don't get it just because it's not one of my goals. Cool, here it is. Sorry, my alarm just went off. Yeah, looks really good, a lot of foam. I'm sure you can do better patterns than this. But anyway, this is like a latte cappuccino thingy on your Barista Express. James, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate. Yeah, I'll see you later today. Cheers.